Manulife ក្រុមហ៊ុនធានារ៉ាប់រងអាយុជីវិតដែលលោកអ្នកជឿទុកចិត្ត
Good evening, Excellency, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to Cambodia Global Dialogue of Southeast Asia TV. Today we're going to be discussing about economic development in Cambodia, of course, but in a context on how we look at the elevating standard of construction, standard of commercial development, standard of industrial development in that whole context, and how this perspective, from that perspective, we could push Cambodia to the next level of industrialization, of commercialization, and ultimately help Cambodia graduate from a least developing country status to a lower middle income country in the next several years. And I just happen to have a good friend of mine, Mr. Ching, who is the chairman and CEO of Oxley of Singapore, one of the top, I think he's ranked 36 out of 50 richest men in Singapore. Very successful gentleman, and he's kind enough on his visit to Cambodia, where he's developing a major commercial project in Cambodia, to come and spend half an hour with me to share his experience. So it is with this great honor that I welcome Ching, my friend.
Yeah,
welcome.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Yeah. Well, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah.
I find that the vast experience that you have, throughout the world in terms of commercial development, industrial development, Cambodia could learn from that. So anyway, before we go further, why don't I give you a couple minutes just so that you can introduce yourself so the audience know who you are.
Okay. Good morning, fellows Cambodian. I'm Ching. I'm from Singapore. Basically, Oxley Holdings is a development company listed in 2010 in Singapore. And for the last 3 years till today, we have about 30 projects launched in Singapore, and majority of them are quite successful. I'm glad. Since last year, about 9 months ago, Oxley have actually embarked on the expansion drive into the regional countries. For example, Malaysia, Cambodia, China, and the latest acquisition we have is in London. And why we are doing so is because we believe that to actually enhance the portfolio of Oxley, we need to go or to transfer our technology somewhere.
Yeah.
And we think we should go out of Singapore.
Okay.
And we just hope that we do a good job.
Yeah. So, how do you decide Cambodia? Because there are ASEAN 10 countries. Anyway, I'm just speaking ASEAN, right?
Okay, sure.
Why Cambodia?
Basically, I came here for a start without any development plans in mind.
As a tourist?
As a part of a charity drive. Yeah.
Interesting.
And I actually went to Shangri-La.
Okay.
And asked by my friend to assist to build a drug rehab center.
I see.
Yeah,
I see.
because they needed one. So after that, when they wanted to build some roads in Shangri-La as well,
okay.
They also asked me for contribution, which also I had done. And my friend said, if that's the case, if you are contributing, why don't you just come and take a look? So I spent some time with them. And I also came to Phnom Penh.
Yes.
And I was very amazed because I was very amazed that how come I didn't look at Cambodia in the first place.
I see. Yeah.
Because it's so vibrant. There are a lot of young people, new buildings, quite a lot of new buildings, and you have all kinds of foods here. All kinds of cuisine. You have Japanese, Korean, Lebanese, Brazilian, and I was taken aback, and I thought, I asked my friend, I say, so how is the development here? And can you do some research for me?
Yes.
A statistic of young people, the GDP of Cambodia, and things like that. So after I doing some research, I decided that I should come to Cambodia.
Okay.
To do some development, which I know.
Yes.
I want to share my experience with
Yes.
the Cambodians
Yes.
to build quality buildings for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting. You mentioned the word quality because, for a country to be competitive, it's not just the country.
Yes.
It's about everything else. It's
Yeah.
about the industry. It's about the development.
You're right.
Cambodia started from a very extremely low base, right?
Okay.
But as you can see now in the city, you start to see new commercial development. And I think to attract big company, they demand quality.
You're right.
So in that sense, your development in Cambodia will be very much focused on elevating the standard
You're right.
of the building
Yes.
industry, right?
Yes.
But tell me a bit about the building industry, the commercial industry. What's the effect, the ripple effect on the economy?
You see, what I'm doing in
Yes.
the part of Phnom Penh,
Yes.
you know my development, right?
Yes.
The first one is near the Tunaga Hotel.
Yes, yes.
Right? And when I formulate the plans,
Yes.
that what I want the building, how I want the building to be there,
Yeah.
I also thought of a lifestyle not
Yes.
only suitable for Cambodians,
Mm-hmm.
it's also suitable for foreigners who
Yes.
want to come to Cambodia to
Yes.
make an investment.
Okay. Okay.
Right? So I thought, whatever I have done in Singapore,
Mm.
and when it works well, I
Yeah.
should introduce the power of concept
Okay.
to Cambodia,
Yes.
because it will just make the standard
Mm.
a bit higher,
Yes. Yes.
relatively.
Okay.
So I've decided to build 2 tower blocks of 45 story.
45 story.
Sorry, building.
Wow.
And one block is apartments,
Yes.
residential.
Mm.
Another block is a Soho office, a home office,
Yes. Yes.
which you can actually break it down
Mm.
to make a larger office out of it, because
okay.
you have the flexibility.
Yes. Yes.
And with these 2 major towers, you need amenities.
Yes.
So I thought, why don't I just transfer all the amenities in the shopping complex below it?
Okay. Okay.
And I can foresee, I can visualize that what's going to happen after all this.
Yeah.
When this project starts, we have to award contracts
Yes.
to main contractors.
Mm.
And the spin-off is great.
Yes.
Because as far as I know, if I'm not wrong,
Yeah.
when you have a contract of, for example, 100 million
Yes.
construction
Yeah.
contract, the productivity level spin-off is 15 times.
15 times. 15.
15 times. Why is it 15 times? Because they need to secure labor,
Yes.
material,
Mm.
finished products,
Yes.
all over Cambodia.
Yes.
They can import,
Yes.
but at the end of the day, you still need the infrastructure here,
Yes. Yes.
the people here,
Yes.
and the logistic here.
Uh-huh.
And I think it will have a great impact for the Cambodia economy. And I very much like to be part of it,
Yes. Yes.
because I think that Cambodia, the main advantage is that they have lots of young people.
Yes.
And there is a great opportunity for Cambodia to even move faster.
Yes.
How you're going to move faster is because how you pump in more investment into the economy,
Yeah.
which means we also need to create training centers.
Yes.
We also need to transfer our technology here. We also can teach the people how to do the admin job, the development procedure job.
Yes.
Then according to what we know in Singapore, where we are highly regulated. So in this sense,
Yeah.
it's a big thing. But I'm very happy. I'm just very excited.
Yeah, it's a lot about, if I can summarize the ripple effect on the local economy is a lot, because there's a linkage from this development contract to the smaller subcontractor,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So a lot of job creation. You mentioned the notion of sort of like imposing a bit the technical training side of it,
Yes.
because for advanced construction technology, that sort of thing, you need learning, you need
Yes,
training,
you're right.
yeah, on the job training.
You're right.
So the effect is that later on, when they finish the job with your two tower,
Yes.
they can actually feel that, look, they can go and work anywhere else.
Yes, they feel very self-assured.
Yes.
The quality is there because to build a building,
Yes.
you also need engineers.
Yes.
You need architects.
Yes.
You need them to let them try new things.
Yes.
And when people get fascinated with something, somehow you will see all these people wanting to learn.
Yes.
And of course, if we can provide the right attitude and the skill,
Yeah.
and of course the education system supports them,
Yes. Yes.
then I think it will go very far.
Yes.
Cambodia will go very far.
Manulife ក្រុមហ៊ុនធានារ៉ាប់រងអាយុជីវិតដែលលោកអ្នកជឿទុកចិត្ត
So from your perspective, you see Cambodia as part. Of course, I'm glad that you pick Cambodia as among the 10 ASEAN countries. You're from Singapore. Your country have gone through a dramatic economic development. Cambodia is early stage, but we are learning fast. And I think with the sort of knowledge transfer, technology transfer, but personally as a person, the exchange of your experience is very powerful.
Yes.
That you can come and bring a new standard to the country. In the area of industrial development, what do you see from your perspective, right? I mean, when you look at this Cambodia like that, in relative to the region, industrial development, that sort of thing, what's your impression?
My impression, Cambodia has vast amount of land.
Yeah.
And basically the infrastructure is relatively good.
Yes.
If we are able to plant a certain industrial standard in a certain area,
Yeah.
that will definitely encourage a lot of foreign investment. Because as a foreign investor, what's my feeling before I come to a country?
Yeah.
If I can get the necessary labor
Okay.
at the necessary cost,
Okay.
relatively lower cost, and political stability,
Yes.
and infrastructure, and the standard of the quality of industrial building development.
Yes.
And I've done that a few in Singapore. And I know, for example, my development in Naga, next to
Yes.
Naga Hotel, the kind of grade A office
Yes.
that I'm going to provide. I know what is needed
Yes.
to be in the office so that when a foreign company come in, he doesn't have to seek recourse
Yes.
of how to put that in.
Yes. Yes.
You see, so I can transfer the kind of experience I have in Singapore, into Cambodia.
Which is highly regulated.
Yes.
Very high standard.
Very highly regulated. On safety, on the structural integrity, even to the space, of how much, that you need to allocate for walking corridor area.
Yeah.
You see?
Maximization of
Yes,
space.
or things
sort
like
of
that.
thing, yeah.
And I think industry is one of the cornerstone development for Cambodia.
Yes.
Because if you want to, again we go back to the educational part
Yes.
of it.
Yeah.
If the Japanese are coming, the Korean or
Yes.
the rest of the world are
Yes.
coming, not only they will bring their own form of expertise,
Yes.
they cannot bring their whole company here. They
Yes,
still
indeed.
need labor here,
Yes,
right?
yes, exactly.
And they will have to provide training, for fellow Cambodians.
Yeah.
And I think this will be good
Yes.
for the country, in the next few years.
Yeah.
If you give them a proper industrial
Yes.
setup, building setup
Yes.
in a certain area.
Yeah.
I mean, with maybe special economic advantage,
Yes.
which will not be wrong, will not go wrong because as you go along, life will improve.
Yes.
So is the quality. And when all this start improving, so is the aspiration
Yes.
of the people.
Yes.
Right?
A few years from now, it'll be 2015. A lot of people mention that they're a bit skeptical that the ASEAN Economic Community will not be fully in place by 2015. To me, it doesn't matter. A few months here and there behind, it doesn't matter. But the ASEAN Economic Community is coming.
Yes.
It's like a train. It left a station already. It stopped here and there, a little bit delay, but it'll be there.
Yeah.
To me, this is where another changing dynamics
Yes.
of the development. Cambodia will not be the small Cambodia anymore. It's no different than Singapore.
Yes.
It's not the small Singapore because you're so globalized.
Yeah, right.
The world, the region is your home.
Yeah, right.
I see Cambodia in that context that we are in a subcontinental greater Mekong subregion.
Yeah, right.
We're between Vietnam, 80 some million, Thailand, 70 some million. We're right there
Yeah, right.
at the crossroad.
Okay.
Business will cross.
Yes.
But to me, the fact that you mentioned that if Cambodia can elevate its industrial standard to the point that the Japanese feel comfortable, the Korean feel comfortable, the American feel comfortable, that's when you attract the investment.
Yes.
And this is where I see, the opportunity for Cambodia to skip the learning curve.
Right.
So overnight, you're a least developed country with nothing, but now you have, thanks to technology,
Yeah, right.
you jump.
You're right.
And then you're somewhere, I wouldn't say not top yet, but you're somewhere in the middle
Yes,
range
you're right.
that you can compete for market share. So I would say Cambodia could be a good gateway to ASEAN. But thanks to technology transfer, thanks to knowledge transfer, like your company.
Yeah, yeah, definitely so. When you talk about ASEAN, I think you're right. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
how long it takes. But the thing is that it's happening.
Yeah.
Summits are happening, meetings are happening.
Yeah.
And what is the basic idea? The basic idea is that to integrate
Yes.
the 10
Yes.
countries
Yes.
together in economic exchange, in trading exchange, in knowledge exchange.
Yes.
And Cambodia is part of it. And Cambodia will have an advantage. And not in terms of economic or money or whatever. But in terms of you're part of it,
Yes.
you will have to grow because everybody will be inter-exchanging a
Yes.
lot of knowledge.
Yes.
And people will come here because this is part of the world that labor is still at relatively low cost.
Yes.
And I think the important thing now is about education.
Yes, indeed, indeed. My friend, there was a survey done on the English literacy. Cambodia, we're not like Singapore, Malaysia, where English is a spoken language of the
Yes.
day. But the survey is that compared to a few countries in the region, our English literacy is very high.
Yes.
Because we're small, so we have to deal with foreigner all the time,
Yeah, right.
But it brings me to one thing that I can visualize now your two tower, right? Very high standard. Now foreign investor come in, they see the tower, interesting. So to me, that tower could be an iconic building.
Hopefully.
Hopefully be an iconic building. Hopefully it will project the image of a new Cambodia. And if within the building we're able to bring educated young Cambodian part of a driving a dynamic labor force, Cambodia could project that new image that we're not anymore a post-war traumatized country, but we are a thriving, we want to do business, and now we're in position to give something back to the region.
Right.
And I think it's important that we cross that mindset, not just being a recipient of aid, of help. I still believe that when you just finish the war, yes, you need help from the aid and everything, but the aid will never get a country out of poverty.
Yes.
It is the private sector, it is the people themselves in the country who are going to work hard, who are going to learn hard, who are going to take the country to the next level.
Definitely.
But again, you need people who can mentor, who can show their best experience.
All right.
And I think you sort of represent that symbolic.
Hopefully.
Well, I would say, you're successful in your own right. Let's be clear. To be number 35 out of 50 richest man in Singapore is not by happenstance, right? You don't wake up in the morning to be like that. You have earned it. You've gone through, right? You still look young as far as I'm concerned.
ធម្មធំដោយ
Manulife ក្រុមហ៊ុនធានារ៉ាប់រងអាយុជីវិតដែលលោកអ្នកជឿទុកចិត្ត
So
Thank you.
how can other young Cambodian would emulate that sort of successful entrepreneurial drive, to
Okay.
take, in other words, you're part of the Singapore success. Why can Cambodia, there are other people like you in Cambodia who can be part of the Cambodia success?
Okay.
So anyway, what's on a personal basis, perhaps you can share some of your
Okay,
view on that.
It's a sad thing that Cambodia has gone through many years of war.
Yes.
It's a fact, but the important thing is that it is in the past.
Yeah, in the past.
We take it as a lesson learned.
Mhm.
And for the future, personally, in my personal opinion, I think Cambodia cannot afford another war
Yes.
or civil riots.
Thank you.
I think this country has already taken aback by probably 10 to 20 years
Yes.
of development.
Mhm.
Cambodia need a chance.
Mm.
And the chance I can see since last year is coming in a big way. I have seen a lot of foreigners here, professionals, tourists, or whatever. The society is becoming vibrant. So what we need is stability. A stability for a business investment environment
Yes.
for the country to move forward.
Yes.
And because of the historical past, Cambodians are normally very, in general, perseverance.
Yeah.
And this is, perseverance is something that it is good, for the country,
Yes.
for the people, because they are never afraid to fail.
Yes.
They will be back again.
Mm.
What I understand from my friend is that in Cambodia, if a bull drop into a drain,
Yeah. Yeah.
a 2-meter drain,
Yeah.
the bull can jump out of it,
Yes.
which is almost impossible in some other countries.
Exactly.
So I asked him why. It's because the bull have gone through the wall.
Yeah.
I think he has some good analogy.
Yeah.
Because I see the people now, the general population is a very young population. If we get it right, with the kind of attitude they have, the experience they have, I think the drive to earn,
Yeah.
the drive to make it is there. A good businessman must have the drive, must have perseverance. Things that if you fear, no problem, because we can do it again. Never be afraid to fear. And I think Cambodia probably has this edge.
Yes. Yes.
And this is my personal opinion, and this is what is happened to me before. We fear many times before I actually make it.
Yes.
In Oxley.
Yes.
I fear 20 over businesses since the day I got out of civil service.
Yes.
Right, and I just hope Cambodia can be peaceful for many years to come.
Yes. I think you're very philosophical on one sense, what you just said, but as a businessman, you bring a lot of truth that sometimes people don't understand. They're in the mindset of a businessman or investor. What investor want most is stability.
Yeah, right.
Because look, you're gonna put 2 tower, 45-story. You're gonna be here for a while, my brother.
Yes.
You're not gonna go anywhere, okay? And in the next 15, 20 years, you're gonna be in and out.
Yeah.
What you do not want to see is instability, political instability.
Yes.
So I hope the audience hear that. I hope people who do not understand the mindset of the business, who, let's face it, a lot of people talk about human rights, this and that, they want more democracy, that sort of thing. But at the end of the day, what is human right? You can only have human right when you have a good job, you can feed yourself, you can feed your kids, everything. And a good job will come from stability when investor come, right? And what you said, it's so important that the Cambodian, we're going through in any post-election, every 5 years we have this post-election difficulty. But I hope that the audience would hear what you just said, that, you know, by having political stability, that you are able to attract investment. By having investment, you create job. By having job, you know, you can improve your livelihood. And that's where your basic human right comes in. I think if you're so poor, you're destitute, you're broke, you're hungry, what sort of human right are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know, so I think there's a lot of balancing tests here that people have to think, you know. But I believe that only through economic growth that you can bring the country up. And only through growth that you can think of redistributing growth. And that's where equity is. You cannot talk about equity without growth. If you have no money, how can you share with me? So let's make $10, then you give me $2. But if you make $1 and I want $2, how can it be? So thank you for that very succinct message on from an investment perspective, right? That political stability is a condition sine qua non. We're running out of time, my friend. What's your message for my Cambodian fellow?
My message, basically, I wish Cambodia well, and I think Cambodia has a bright future ahead because of all the qualities I've mentioned earlier. And I think with the better quality of life, things will be much better for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Let me just, on behalf of the audience and the studio, a big thank you. And we hope that when your project is up and running, you can come back and share with us what other things that you have done or you will do for Cambodia. But on that note, thank you so much.
Welcome very much. Thank you for this.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to the end. And for me, as always, in every 30-minute session, is a challenge of capturing the key message from a speaker, from a guest who come in a very spontaneous way to come and have a dialogue with me on a certain topics. Initially, the topic is all about industrial development, commercial development, how we can, you know, look at the economic development from a perspective of certain sector. In this case, the sector is commercial, real estate, construction sector, industrial sector. But what transpired, you know, in that 30 minutes led to something that has nothing to do with the construction. Because from a successful businessman, investor in Singapore, in Australia, in London, coming to Cambodia, daring to invest in a major iconic project, his message is about political stability. His message is about security to an investor. So it's mind-boggling to see from a sectoral issue, and the message is completely something else, which is investor want predictability, investor want security, investor want political stability. And I think in the context of a post-electoral mood now, where lately there's a lot of difficulty from different part of the country, they want this, they want that, demonstration here and there. I think democracy is there, is not easy, but we want them to remember that without political stability, there'll be no economic development. Without economic development, there'll be no growth. Without growth, you cannot redistribute the benefit of growth. You cannot talk about equity without growth. So I think I want to close on that note that everyone should help preserve that political stability so that the country can attract people, successful people like my friend Mr. Ching, to come invest. And if he's successful, many other people will come. And that's where we will see, you know, the future Cambodia. A Cambodia that is successful, a Cambodia that can create jobs for the young population out there. You know, the more job they have, the less they are in the street. And to me, that's what inclusive growth is all about. So on that note, I wish you good night, and I hope you have learned something from tonight's discussion. But remember, political stability, safety for the investor is probably the last message I want to convey for tonight. Good night.